Yo, what's up world? It's your boy Philosco here, and today I'm going to make part 5 of the Slang Idiom cartoon, which I call the funny cartoon, but it has another name that I don't really say on YouTube for certain reasons. But yes, I will make part 5 of this video. If you haven't seen the other 4, you can definitely check them out after this video. I will have the links to the other 4 videos in the description. And of course, the link to see the cartoon in which I will be speaking about is also in the description. So you can watch the funny cartoon and you can watch my other 4 videos. But this is my 5th video since so many teachers want me to finish this, because apparently a lot of teachers show these videos to their students, so I should finish. I gave my word, so I will continue. So let's continue where we last left off. So let's get to it. I'm watching it now.
In no time, the law was on my heels.
In no time, the law was on my heels. Now, basically, in no time means very quickly. So if you do something in no time, that means you did it fast. So if it usually takes you to 10 minutes to do something, but one day you're feeling good, you have energy, and you do this thing and it only takes you 5 minutes, that's half the time it usually takes. So you did it in no time. You did it quickly. Now, he said the law was on my heels. And what is the law? Well, the law is basically the police. Any sort of organization that enforces the law. The FBI, the CIA, those are a lot of law enforcement agents we have here in America. Maybe they're called different things in your country, but here they're like the police, the FBI, and stuff like that. He said on my heels. And when something or someone is on your heels, that means they are close to catching you. So if I was like running from some crazy girl who wanted to be my friend, but I didn't want to be her friend, and I was running for her, but she was right behind me, very close to catching me, she is on my heels because she is very close to catching me or very close to finding me. Got it? Let's get to the next thing he said.
On the witness stand, the judge tried to pump me.
On the witness stand, that means he was in court. The judge tried to pump me. Now, when someone tries to pump you, that means they are trying to get information out of you. They are trying to pump you until you pop. And like basically when you pop, that's when all the information comes out. That's when all the air comes out of you, so to say. You know, they're trying to get information out of you. And that's what it is to pump someone. Get information out of them. And the next thing he said.
But it seems that every time I open my mouth, I put my foot in it.
He said, and it seems that every time I open my mouth, I put my foot in it. Now, what does it mean to have your foot in your mouth? Well, that basically means to be saying the wrong things, to be saying inaccurate things and things that will make you look bad. So, for example, if I had a girlfriend and I went out to party with another girl, but she didn't know that, and she would ask me, Filoshko, what did you do yesterday? And I was like, I was with my friend Kevin. But then she'll say, no, your friend Kevin wasn't hanging out in New York yesterday. He was in another country. He told me. I wouldn't know what to say. I put my foot in my mouth because I said the wrong thing. She knows I couldn't have been with Kevin because Kevin was somewhere else. Now I have to make up a different lie, and then she'll know I'm lying about that, and I'll just keep putting my foot in my mouth until I decide to tell the truth and stop saying things that are inaccurate. So when you have your foot in your mouth, like I just did just now, you are saying things that are wrong and inaccurate. So let's get to the next thing he said.
So he sent me up the river to do a stretch in the jar.
So he sent me up the river to do a stretch in a jar. Now basically sending someone up the river is sending them to prison. That's a basic way of sending them to prison back in the days. This is an old one. It's not that important. But to do a stretch in a jar, that's still used. And that one is kind of important. To do a stretch. What is a stretch? You know, you can stretch your skin. This is stretching. Sure, that is stretching. But when it comes to prison terms, because he's in the jar and the jar means prison, a stretch means a long period of time. So there's not an exact science to it, but I would say a stretch for prison terms is maybe like 5 years or more, because that's a long time to be in prison. And he said to do a stretch in the jar, and the jar is prison. A jar is basically called prison because prison is called a jar because you're trapped in one spot, you can't move that much, and a jar is pretty small and anything in it doesn't really move. So to do a stretch in a jar means to spend a long time in prison. Let's get to the next thing he said, and hopefully none of you have to have to do any stretches in the jar.
I was up against it and felt myself going to pot.
I was up against it And when you are up against something, that means you are feeling the pressures. So basically, let's say I had to make 10 videos in one day, but the most I've ever done was 4. But I needed to make 10 in this one day, and I'm so busy doing all this stuff, I would be up against it because I'm really feeling the pressures of trying to make all these videos in one day. It is very, very hard, and the pressure is just overwhelming. Then he said, and I felt myself going to pot. Now, going to pot is basically your physical being changes because of stress. So a lot of times people go to pot when like they break up with their lover. A lot of people get depressed and they start eating a lot and they could get really big, or they stop eating and they become very small and skinny because depression affects people in many, many different ways. You can eat a lot, you could smoke a lot, you could drink a lot, and it can mess with your physical being, like how you look. It can mess with it. It can make you look older, it can make you look ugly, it can do a lot of things to you. So all those are examples of going to pot. So let's get 2 more in.
But I raised a big stink.
But I raised a big stink. And what does it mean to raise a stink? Well, to raise a stink means to complain, to protest. So let's say if my videos were very boring and you didn't learn anything, you could raise a big stink by leaving a comment saying, I didn't learn anything, you're a bad teacher, this video is terrible, you're not really black, you're lying. Any of those things you can say, that would be raising a big stink, to protest or complain. Let's get to the next one.
And they finally let me talk to an undercover man.
And they finally let me talk to an undercover man. Now, an undercover man is basically a law enforcement person who works in secret. So basically, he could be a cop, but he looks like a regular person. And the reason why they look like regular people is so bad people could behave regularly around them. And when this regular person who is a cop sees them doing bad things, he can arrest them. Sort of like a spy. You know, someone who comes from one country to another country and pretend like he's from that country to find out secret information. That is an undercover person. Basically a spy. But this focuses more on like a local spy, not international spy. Just a regular local spy. And I think that's a good amount for today. And that's the end of the episode for today. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you learned new stuff. Be sure to add me, vk.com/Velasco. That's me. And subscribe to my YouTube page to see all of my videos. I'm still in Florida. Right now, the girls are out shopping, buying clothes. I didn't want to go, so I'm staying home making videos with you guys. And I might make another video on my other channel today. So if you don't know that other channel, I'll leave a link here so you can see it. And that's basically it. Thank you. Part 6 coming real soon. I really want to finish this. I gave my word, and I'm going to finish it. So I'm out. Later.